Today we are going to see the implementation of a MCP server. I mean, connection of a MCP server to MCP client. There has been a lot of talk going around MCP lately, and everyone is talking about the theoretical aspects. So let's see a live demo today, so that our understanding of MCP servers, MCP client, and MCP protocol as a whole will get a little bit more clearer. Okay, I was using Grok to get more understanding of this earlier. We'll be implementing this file system MCP server. We'll be connecting to this MCP server from the MCP client. We'll be using Claude Desktop to host our MCP client. Basically, what this is a client server architecture. Some third party or yourself will host a MCP server, and other clients can connect to that server to make use of the tools that the server provides. For example, let's see, and we'll explain it further. Okay, in this official GitHub page of Model Context Protocol, there are several servers, and one of them is file system. So we'll be implementing this. There are, I think, 12 or 13 tools in this server, which can read write files, create list directories. There are the tools which you can read. I'll leave the link in the description. And what we'll be doing is, okay, now let's understand one thing. This MCP server should be hosted in some infrastructure, right? So currently we don't have any server that is hosting this MCP server. Okay, so what we'll be doing is we'll use Docker to create our own server that will host this file system MCP server, and we will connect this server from the MCP client. And where will our MCP client will be? That will host in the Claude Desktop. Basically, you need to understand two things. We need a host infrastructure to have MCP client, and we need a host to have MCP server. For MCP server, we'll be using Docker. For MCP client, we'll be using Claude Desktop. You can also use Cursor Pro version for the host client as well, Okay, since you need Docker, install Docker. You can see it online to install Docker and keep it up and running. Right, and what you need to do is, okay, we need this terminal. Okay, we need the image of this file system server, right? We are going to create a MCP server of that file system, so we need image of that file system. Let's pull the image of Docker pull. There is the command. I'll copy this. It is more easier. You can also clone this repository and create the model file, then create the image, and you can do that also, but it is a lot easier, so I'll be using this Docker pull MCP file system. It will pull the latest file system image from the Docker hub. Right, image is up to date. Okay, right, now to run this, what we need to do is run the Docker container. We need to do this. All right, and here you need to understand one thing. In this file system, here are two things. All right, we have to mount the source to certain destination in the Docker container. So this source you should provide yourself. This source will provide the read and write access to the MCP client, and the source you mention here will provide only the read-only access as mentioned here. Alright, so provide any directory structure. For example, I'll be providing, let's say, documents, projects, MCP. Alright, I'll provide this path name, copy as path name, and I will edit the source here. Command B. Okay, I will maintain that as read and write access. And for read access, what I'll do is, okay, whether I will provide this as read only access. All right. All right. So paste your directory here according to your preference. The upper one will be the read and write access. Your MCP client will be able to read and write in this folder and only read in the folder you provide here, and hit enter. Okay, secure MCP file system server running on the studio. Okay, you can check if your server is running or not. What's the command? I think docker ps. It is running, right? Yes, it is running on port 8000. 8000 to 8000. Okay, it is running, right? Okay, now our server is up and running. This is the server part. What we have done, we have created MCP server which is up and running. Now we need to connect to this. How can we connect to this? Using the host machine where MCP client will be hosted, and we'll be using Claude Desktop for that. Claude Desktop. See, currently we don't have any tools, so it is saying nothing. Okay, how to connect to this MCP server? Remember, this MCP server can be remote as well. For now we are doing this in our local system, but if for example we can take a GitHub has also created MCP server, so anyone can connect to that GitHub MCP server. But for now, our like the GitHub server, our server is file system server which is running locally. Now we need to connect to the local, we need to connect our host client to the MCP server. Now how can we create the MCP client? Okay, here it has provided this information. Copy this from the official that which I'll be providing you in description. Settings, go to settings, go to developer section, edit config. Basically, to create the client you need to configure this file. I'll paste that here, and I will not requiring this. Remember these two folders which you changed earlier, right? So you should change here too. What you should do, you should, okay, let's see that again. What have we done here? Okay, let's copy this as a whole. We have copied source and destination. All right, don't get confused. What we need to do, source to destination, command B. All right, and let's copy another also, source and destination with read-only access, right? Command C with read-only access up to here, right? Command B. Okay, do we need to change other? No. Okay, after that save this. Okay, and now it has not changed anything. What I need to do is quit the Claude Desktop again and open it again. Now it should show the tools. See, we have 11 tools. See the magic. Okay, and in just one instance we have these many tools that we can use. Okay, now you can understand what's the difference, why the MCP IP is such that we have been seeing in the internet. In the LangGraph or LangChain implementation, agentic AI old until now, what we need to do, what we used to do, was we we used to create directory tool separately. Directory tree, this separate, how many tools are there, we need to create those tools separately. And if there is any change, for example, there need to be made any modification on move file, then we have to do it manually. But now when some provider provides the MCP server, we can use those tools without caring much about the server side. Basically, if this was a server provided by GitHub, then we didn't have to worry about the tool get branch. We didn't have to worry about that implementation. We can directly use that tool. That is the power of MCP. Okay, let's test one tool. Okay, okay, let's try. Uh, let's first read the which one did we provide as a read only file. You can do anything. Okay, we can read from MCP. Okay, list all the directories, list all the files and subdirectories. Okay, excuse my spelling and excuse my English. All right, I am not a native English speaker. List all the files and subdirectories of folder MCP. Okay, let's see if this tool can do its magic or not. See, it is asking for my permission. All right, so okay, I will allow this. Okay, whenever it is accessing files, it is asking for permission. See, it is checking all the folders one by one. All right, see, okay, let's create a file. This is basically the whole meaning of these tools, meaning of this MCP. You can use these tools in one go. Okay, create a file named hello.py with some code in it. Okay, let's done. In which folder we have to save it? Let's see. We have given right access in the projects. Okay, in projects folder, let's say we have in projects we have, remember, this is the source, this is the destination. So it didn't earlier it didn't list any folders because I asked for MCP, but I should have asked for projects. This is our local machine, this is the destination, means it is the folder in the container. I should have asked projects, not the MCP. Okay, let's see, it doesn't matter for now. We are just seeing the tools, some code in it. Create a file named hello.py in PRO projects folder. Okay, okay, it is asking for right access. See, all right, see, it created hello.py and some code. All right, I guess, can we see the folders it created? Let's see. Okay, if we can see, let's check for a while. My Claude messages is also docker.app. Why it is not opening? I think this is we are inside container in the file system. Let's see the files in the container. Which one is running? This one is running. Files, projects, hello.py. See what we told earlier in the projects folder, hello.py in projects folder, right? So in the projects folder here is hello.py. Okay, this is basically MCP client and server MCP protocol. Okay, I will explain to you one more time. In the LangChain LangGraph framework, what we need to do is we need to create these tools individually, and we have to worry about every tool, right? We have to worry about the implementation of get file info, list allowed directories, and if there was any change in the directory, and again we have to change this tool. But in case of MCP, the MCP server provider will create all these tools. For example, GitHub MCP server, the GitHub management team will create this MCP server and provide to us as an API, so that we can hit that API and get all these tools. We don't have to worry about the implementation of these tools. That was not the case in the LangGraph or LangChain implementation. We have to create our own tool. We had to create our own tools. So, and as a MCP client can be hosted in these softwares like Claude Desktop, Cursor Pro. So we have access of all those tools. This is the whole MCP protocol. Now everyone is talking about USB-C. This is the USB-C of tools, or what they are saying in the theoretical concept. What it meant by USB-C is this. You have seen the live demo. Now you can relate all those theoretical concepts to it. Okay guys, this has been in this video. If you find this video useful, it is very raw content, all right? I am not going to edit this and make it more fancy. I'm going to upload it just as it is. Thank you.